Well, hello, my beautiful friend. From my sacred mess to yours, welcome to Hot Mess Mystic, the podcast for empaths, spiritual seekers, witches, and light workers who are opening up to the whispers of spirit, doing the work, and occasionally falling apart in the process. I'm your host, Cassie, crystal hoarder, energy healer, and queen of keeping the chaos under a spell. Here we talk shadow work, chakras, moon moods, spiritual glow-ups, and everything in between, all with a side of sass and a lot of heart. So grab your tea, light a candle, and let's dive into the magic and the mess of becoming your truest self. In our last episode, I shared my messy beginning and the little moment after my wedding where I was just like, now what? And that just kind of cracked me wide open and things just kind of flowed through me. Today we're going to dive into feeling all the feelings, because right now we've just moved into Cancer out of Gemini, and it's now in the northern hemisphere. It's now starting, the sun is going to start getting darker and darker and darker, or it's not, the light of day is not going to be as longer as the light of day is not going to be as long because we just went through the summer solstice for the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, it's a little bit different. They're just going through Samhain. And the fall equinox. So it's kind of an interesting situation where you want to think about feeling all the feelings doesn't have to be a bad thing. It just means you need to sit with where you're at, with how you're feeling, and move gracefully and honor those feelings, because everything that comes up is for a reason. Whether it's self-inflicted or from someone else, it doesn't matter. These are feelings that you need to process, you need to digest, and you need to move through so that you can take a step forward in the right direction. If you hold on to those feelings and you stuff them down deep inside or brush them under the rug because you don't want to deal with them right now, or you don't want to deal with them at all, that's when shit can creep up and make problems for later on. So I highly recommend you honor the feelings that are coming through. Cry your face off if you need to. Sob with your crystals. Sob in the bath, in the shower, wherever you need to just release that. And then have a friend, a loved one, give you a nice big hug, or your doggo, or your kitty cat, or your plant baby, or whatever emotional support that you have. Use that to your advantage. So first things first, let's talk about what emotional balance actually means versus emotional neglect or numbness, right? Because if you don't want to deal with something and you move away from that and you don't really honor those feelings, it's going to creep up in other ways, right? So emotional balance really looks like you recognize when you're having feelings. You recognize when something offended you, disappointed you, upset you, whatever the case may be. And you're able to kind of acknowledge those feelings, identify kind of what happened, if it was in your control or outside of your control, and how you can process through them so that you can move forward, right? If you're in the emotional numbness sector, then that's going to come back to bite you in the ass later on. And while you might think that, oh, I'm just not going to think about this because it's in the past, it's already over and done with, there's nothing I can do to change it. That's not entirely true, because whatever happens, you can use that to learn from and move forward. Because maybe you reacted to a situation that wasn't the best and you wish you would have said or done something a little bit differently. If you stay numb, then you have no room to grow, right? You have to just keep moving forward or keep going on in the same attitude, on the same plane. Does that make sense? So if you're an emotional numb person, please take the moment or however much time that you need just to sit in those feelings, acknowledge their presence, honor them, take a big deep breath if you need to, cry if you need to, and really think, what do I need to learn from this? And process it, and then move through it. Okay? Because if you don't acknowledge it and you don't process it, it's just going to fester. It's going to turn into icky. It's going to turn into oxygen in your early 30s. It's going to turn into toxic relationship on repeat. So you leave one toxic relationship and you go to a next one. You're like, oh, he's so great, or she's so great, and I'm so excited. It's so lovely. And then it turns into the same crap, It's this karmic wheel that you're not going to get off of because you're not processing, you're not learning, you're not growing because you're emotionally numb. Okay? And I understand sometimes you need to do that as a self-preservation technique, a sort of protection. But when you're alone, you don't have to protect yourself from anybody. When you're alone, you don't have to preserve yourself for anybody because there's nobody around to judge you. And side note, people are going to judge you either way. So just do what you got to do. Take care of yourself so that you can learn and grow and improve and live the life that you want. Be the person you want to be. Be the friend you want to be the mom you want to be the dad you want to be the friend you want to be the business owner you want to be, be the artist you want to be, whatever that means. That all comes from processing your emotions, learning from them, and applying what you learned to the next step in your life. I also want to make sure, I love crystals and they love me, but they are not a magical cure. Okay? They're not going to be like, you put on your crystal necklace. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I don't need to deal with my emotions because I have my crystal. My crystal's going to take care of it for me. No, dear. You're forming a relationship with your crystals. And if you're putting everything on their plate to process and deal with for you on your behalf, that is a one-sided relationship. I want you to keep that in mind. Because if you're not adding or if you're not contributing to the relationship with your crystals, you're not charging them, you're not talking to them, you're not giving them love, for everything that they do for you, even with your spirit guides and your angels and stuff, they're there to guide you, protect you, and help you process emotions and situations that happen, learn and grow. But if you're not adding to that relationship, if you're not contributing in the way of appreciation, in providing offerings, laughing a little, just, turning the TV on for them so that they can watch, the latest and greatest of Big Bang Theory or whatever show's on right now. I do mostly streaming, so I have no idea. But that's my point is, you're cultivating a relationship with your higher self, with your angels and spirit guides, and your crystals, because they have a consciousness. So make sure you're participating and contributing to that relationship. You're not just take. Okay? So I also want to talk about, because someone did bring this up to me, and it was very interesting because I hadn't thought about it. I've been working with crystals for a little while now, and maybe you get a little what's the word I'm looking for? You just get in sync and you think everybody knows what you know. Okay? And that's not true, because there's people coming into this realm every day fresh and they're excited, but they have no idea where to go, who to talk to, what to listen to, what to understand, where to start. Because there's so much information out there. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And I want to make sure that you guys, whoever comes to listen to me, whether it's on podcasts, it's videos on YouTube, it's social media, whatever, the newsletter, I want to make sure that whatever you're getting is accurate and full of intention and packed with value. Because if you're not getting something that's beneficial to you, then why would you stay? I wouldn't. And I get that. And a few people have come up to me and said, there's all this information out there in the world about crystals and what they do, but not really how you can use them. So let's quick little dive. How do we use crystals? We wear them, like my necklace. We can sit with them in meditation. We can do crystal grids, which is something I absolutely love to do. I actually have three going right now, which will probably be switched out here very soon because one is Lionsgate from 2024. So we're going to be switching that up for 2025 to 2026. And then you can have them in the bath or the shower. Just make sure they're water soluble or not water soluble. I don't really know. The soluble, I'm not assuming, but I think if I remember correctly, it means that it will dissolve. But I'm not sure because I always get that mixed up. It's like kinesiology. One way means the opposite way, but blah. So, so the bath or the shower, a crystal baggie. I have one in my car, in my purse. I usually carry them in my pockets. When you're sleeping, having some either by the bed or underneath your pillow can really help support you while you're sleeping. So if you have a lot of mind chatter like me, that can kind of calm that down so you can focus and go right to sleep. Right now, for the last few years, it takes me like maybe 5 minutes max to calm my brain down to go to sleep. Which is insane because I used to be able to stay up for hours on end before I would actually fall asleep. So yeah. And then the other one is like crying with your crystals. Like if you're having a really crappy day and you don't have a fur baby or a plant baby or a parrot or, a parrot baby or whatever. What is it? A feather baby. If you don't have a feather baby to love on your crystals and let them absorb some of that energy and give you back what they've got so that you can process your emotions and move through it, especially with everything going on in the world right now. We need a lot of love in the world. We need compassion. We need forgiveness. We need acceptance. We need acknowledgement. We need support. So, and that's what crystals, they've been brewing, I guess. They've been brewing or being built up and produced by the earth for millions of years. And that is deep, 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 deep healing. And anything that gives you, like for me especially, I'm very visual and I'm tangible. So if I have something that I can touch, and I am intuitive, I'm not discrediting that by any means, but with the touch of ADD, ADHD, it's very hard to focus sometimes. So if I have something I can hold on to or something I can focus on, like a crystal grid, then that makes things a whole lot easier because I can focus my intention, my energy on that without going off like I tend to do. So, and plus, a good cry always makes you feel better. It might make your face swell up and you have a massive headache and you want to take a nap like me, but it will make you feel a ton better. So yeah. And then I want to make sure that whenever you're using your crystals and you're working with them with big emotions, big feelings, a big, huge, like thick, dense, packed intention, make sure once that is completed that you charge and cleanse your crystals. Because again, you are cultivating a relationship with those crystals and you need to take care of them. You need to nurture them. You need to shower them with love, just like they're doing for you. Okay. So use selenite, use sound, water if they're good with water. Sunlight is wonderful to bring in masculine energy. And right now, we in the northern hemisphere, we're at the peak of summer, so we've got a lot of light going on. So right now would be a great time to really get some of that action going and that masculine energy. And then the moon is a more feminine energy and it's more nurturing. So leave that out in the sunlight, and it will bring in all that yummy, like nurturing, motherly type of love that you need. So make sure you charge and cleanse and really thank your crystals, thank your angels and spirit guides for taking care of you, for nurturing you, for guiding you, for protecting you, all of those things, because it's so important that with whatever you're trying to manifest, you are coming from a place of gratitude. And the gratitude and love, because those are the most powerful. They will outrank or they will demolish any negative thinking if you're coming from a place of love, if you're coming from a place of gratitude, because that kind of negative thinking, those negative emotions can't survive in that environment. So shower your crystals with love and gratitude, and thank your angels and spirit guides for being with you in your time of need, because that's so important. And anybody who comes and shows up for you, make sure you give them some love too, and just say thank you for showing up. I recently went to a networking event, and there was a gal there. As soon as she walked in the door, I knew something was wrong. And I asked her, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I'm like, "You're not fine, but that's okay. I'm not going to push her because we're going to be in a public setting. And, she needs to process her feelings the way she feels safe and comfortable doing. I'm here." And I told her, I said, "If you need to talk, you just let me know." Well, we went through, and then we came around to kind of share our thoughts with what was going on, with what we needed help with, and collaborate. And she just started to break down because it was a safe space. There was, I want to say like 7 to 10 other ladies there, and we just held space for her. We let her cry, and I'm very empathic, so obviously I got teary-eyed too. But I also, tried to also do a meditation, a short little meditation to kind of ground everybody as well, because what she brought up was very deep, very heavy, and it affected everyone. And as ladies, we want to help. We want to be of a support system. It's a very sisterly group. So I'm very grateful for that. And she was very appreciative too, because she was able to acknowledge those feelings, honor those feelings, move through them a little bit with in a safe space with support, and then go on about her day and feel a little bit lighter and a little bit less heavy, I guess, or deeply sad by what was going on in her life. So I forgot my point. So yeah, make sure that whenever anything's coming up, you're honoring it, you're moving through it, you're processing it, you're not numbing it down. If you have to numb it down for a moment, come back to it later, okay? Make sure I highly recommend you use crystals to support you and help you process your emotions throughout the day. If you're going to kind of process them later when you're alone and by yourself or with some friends, be a great time to have a girls' night. Sit down and do a little, circle with your girls, have a little wine, light some candles, meditate, bring in some love and light and gratitude for everyone and everything that's going on in the world, and send that out to them. Make sure you're cultivating that relationship with your crystals. You're taking care of them as much as they are taking care of you. Okay? I'm so happy you were able to come and hang out with me. I hope that was helpful. And I just want to take a little moment. Okay? I want to take a little bit of a moment and let you know that I am running a special right now on a crystal grid bundle that you can download for under $20 right now. So whenever you're, this is the Mystic Flow crystal grid that comes in the crystal bundle. If you just want the intention pack, this comes in the intention pack, but not in the chakra or the basic bundle. because these are specific for intentional, like this is for mystic flow, which can be also used for emotional flow as well if you struggle with that. This is based off of the Fibonacci sequence. It starts in a spiral and then it continues to grow. It continues to bloom. It continues to increase, right? So if we're really looking to increase emotional balance, then I highly recommend using amethyst, and you can just set your cluster there in the very center, or you can do a clear quartz if you would like. You could do a clear quartz tower like that, and then you can just start placing your amethyst around it, right? There you go. And just keep moving around it like that, like so. Oh, I'm gonna miss out on one, so I'm just gonna use a clear quartz. Well, this is a Tibetan quartz to go in place of that. And essentially, your crystal grid is done. I just highly recommend you write down the intention and focus. My intention and focus is emotional balance and acceptance of things I cannot control, and while also sending lots of love and understanding to others in the world who are struggling. For 27 crystal grids, that is, I think there's 13 or 14 intentions. There is a 6 basic, which includes the tree of life, the seed of life, the flower of life, all those basic crystal grids to get started, as well as all of the chakras. So if you need to focus on the sacral chakra, which is all about creation, you want to focus on your heart chakra, which is all about love and compassion. You want to focus on your crown chakra and bringing in that guidance and accentuating your psychic abilities, your third eye for your inner knowing, clairvoyance, and psychic abilities as well. That is all in there, and it's under $20. I highly recommend you take a look at it, and you can print them out and use them as many times as you want. There's a specific place there to do to write down your intention, so you remember that every single time, and it reminds you. Every day you stand in front of your crystal grid the way you created it, and you stand in it, you send it love, and you let it give you love at the same time. Just stand there and take 3 big deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, nice and slow on the count of 3. That is going to help you really absorb all of that compacted energy from your grid so that you can take that in and move through your day in a beautiful, supported way. That was fun, wasn't it? Thanks for walking through the sacred mess with me. If today's episode made you laugh, cry, or clutch a crystal a little tighter, go ahead and subscribe, leave a review, or share it with your favorite hot mess mystic. You can find more magic, crystal wisdom, and energy healing tools over at divinejourneyboutique.com. And don't forget to say hi on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. Until next time, my beautiful friend, from my sacred mess to yours, I'm sending you grace, love, and light, and a little frankincense for the road. Bye.